There's three big things that are kind of a through line in my books that all life forms do, and they're all F words, right? And they go in order. The first one is fear, and it's your fight or flight response. So your body will automatically take 10 times more of your attention and energy and put it on something that is scary. Even if you know it's not scary, the body doesn't know. That's why those negative headlines get your attention. So what I'm doing is I'm managing my F words. So fear is the first one. And if I'm not afraid right there, and I don't mean I'm conscious, I decided to be afraid. I mean, if my biology didn't respond in a fearful way, the next thing that the body's going to do is food, the second F word. And that's because famines have killed all sorts of species, whether you're single-celled life or anything else. So automatically you'll think about food unless you're managing that. And that'll get about 5 times more focus, because all of us know we won't starve if we don't eat for a month. We just would be hungry. But our body's like, you'll die if you don't eat the donut. Okay, right. So you got that. And then the third F word that all life has to do to stay around gets about 3 times more attention than is required. It's an F word that's a lot of people don't want to say it on Instagram. Fertility. Okay, it's the other part of that. But those are the 3 things that your body wants to do when you're not paying attention. So then it's my job all day long to wake up and be like, okay, how do I manage it so that those don't steal my energy from the 4th F word, which is friend? And this is what we're actually all wired to do, which is to support our older people, our children, whether it's ours or the children in our community, and to specialize and to be of service to the world. We're actually wired to do that inside ourselves, but not if the other things are in the way. So it's my job to shut down those F words that aren't serving me. So what do I do for the first one? Well, I wake up and I do I'll do a breathing meditation usually. The ones that I use are from Dr. Barry, energyforsuccess.com. Yeah. And he's one of 9 living grand masters taught by Lao Tzu's oral tradition. He's literally Dr. Strange, as in they interviewed him to write the movie. He's the American doctor who studied at the monastery, pushing a brush, the only white guy ever to do that. So he teaches that stuff. And you know about Dr. Barry as well. So I do that in the morning when I first wake up, and that's to help get rid of the first F word. So now I'm in a different place, kind of vibrating. And then I practice intermittent fasting the vast majority of the time. And I use the fasting hacks that I teach in the Upgrade Collective that are in Fast This Way. You've got it on the shelf behind you. And then I don't think about food. I just don't. It doesn't matter. There's no little thing in the back of my mind going, oh, should I eat? Oh, no, I'm going to decide not to eat. That's all gone. So I wake up. I usually have a shot of espresso. I'm making Americano out of that. Yes, a metal coffee filter gives you some advantages over a paper filter in terms of the good coffee plant compounds. And I usually put a little bit of MCT and butter in it, but I don't always. But I'm just never hungry. Right now, it's going to be about 2:00 pretty soon here. I have not had anything to eat today. I just do this most days. Yeah. So now I'm not hungry. I'm thinking about food. And I'm not thinking about scary stuff. I also don't turn my phone on until I'm done meditating. I've already written down my goals for the day using the Energy for Success stuff. If I'm going to drop my kids off at school that morning, then I don't turn my phone on to get text messages or anything else until I've already dropped the kids off. So I'm present for myself and for my family before I go out and let the world pollute my mind. About that third F word, there's not much you can do in the morning. You're just going to think about attractive people. That's just how humans work when we have healthy hormones. What you do for that, though, is you can channel that energy, because passion is another word for the sex side of things. So if you're feeling passion, right, that passion gets channeled into passion for improving yourself, improving the world, and being of service to others. And maybe there's some time later in the day where it might get channeled into something that's more recreational. But the idea of letting that own you is also a big problem. There's people listening here who have a problem with porn. There really are. So I just make sure that, all right, yeah, I'm feeling, energy. You can choose what kind of energy that is and where it goes. And so I'm conscious of that. And that's part of the stuff that I teach in the Upgrade Collective. Like, okay, how do you deal with that weird one? And then what I do, I take a handful of supplements, the ones that go on an empty stomach in the morning. I take a bunch of food-based ones that absorb better with food at lunchtime. And I do it again when I have dinner. Usually dinner's around 5:30. Where I live, it's light until 11 o'clock at night because I'm pretty far north. So I still eat dinner earlier, and I actually put on the True Dark right here, the patented sleep glasses that are way more than blue blockers. They're very, very sexy glasses. And I just broke them. Anyway, they're, I mean,
They're
these are
very
hot,
cool.
right? But there are other styles, but these are the ones that are like mission critical, crazy strength. So you can put those on even if you go outdoors and it's bright and your body's like, oh, it must be nighttime. So I can go to sleep. And that's called True Dark. And I actually wrote the patent for those glasses because blue blockers don't do enough at night and they do too much during the day. So I'm kind of going through the whole day. And when do I exercise? Sometimes I don't, but I always move. So I can go for a walk. I'm on 32 acres. Sometimes I do the bulletproof vibe.
Right.
And quite often I'll do an infrared sauna, or I'll do some blood flow restriction things. But guys, I promise you that for 90% of people listening, I work out less than you do, right? And I also am about 11% body fat. I weigh about now 235. I put on 14 pounds of muscle in the last 6 months. And like, there are people way more ripped than me, but this is from not exercising. Like I'm happy with that.
In the last 6 months, you put on 14 pounds of lean muscle.
Yeah, thanks, pandemic. I was traveling less.
Wow. That's
and
amazing.
You know how long that takes me to do it? I do 7 pull-ups in the morning, and once a week, I get the signal into my muscles to grow. But then again, I happen to own Upgrade Labs. So what's going on here is that you are probably, everyone listening, you're probably working out in a way that doesn't provide great returns for you, right? So you can overtrain. I used to go to the gym 6 days a week, an hour and a half a day. And I was overtrained, and I still weighed 300 pounds at the end of that. And I still had a 46-inch waist, and I was so frustrated. But it turns out sometimes really high intensity for very short periods of time gives you more results. So that's what I'm doing. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. Right. And then I'll take the extra hour that I didn't spend on a bicycle, running in circles, and I'll sit in an infrared sauna and I'll talk to my kids, or I'll talk to a friend. Right. That actually works better. So I want everyone listening to go, am I exercising in a way that got me what I wanted? Because if you're tired, but you're not either losing weight or putting on muscle, you're doing it wrong. So I'm very happy with where my body is, given that my total exercise inputs are less than an hour a week. But I do go for a walk every day. It's just not exercise. So walking is good.